Hello and happy Wednesday, friends. We are continuing on in our video devotion series as we talk today about one of Jesus' disciples, Peter. The Bible tells us a lot of different things about Peter. Peter was the disciple that always spoke exactly what he was thinking. He was kind of that take charge disciple. And one of my favorite stories of Peter is when he got out of a boat and he walked on water to get to Jesus. Lots of really cool stories about Peter, and later on in his life he even helped write some of the Bible. There are different books of the Bible that he wrote. So Peter was an awesome guy, but we also know that Peter was human and he wasn't perfect. And so there's a story of when Jesus was on earth, and when people were starting to doubt who he was and not really believe that he was the Messiah. And then Jesus was arrested. And we know that eventually led to his death on a cross. But when Jesus was arrested, his disciples were afraid that they were going to get into trouble too. And so Peter was actually approached. The Bible tells us Peter was approached by 3 different people at 3 different times. And they all came up to him and they all said, "Aren't you one of the disciples of Jesus? Didn't you hang out with Jesus? Don't you know who this Jesus person is?" The Bible tells us that all 3 of those times, Peter denied knowing Jesus. He was so afraid of what would happen to him that he denied ever knowing the man who came to save him. Sometimes we do that too. Sometimes we don't want other people to know that we are a follower of Christ because we're afraid of what they'll think of us or what they'll say to us. But being ashamed of Jesus isn't right, and Peter knew that. And so after Jesus' death on the cross and after his resurrection, the Bible tells us that Peter and Jesus went to have this awesome conversation, and Jesus reminded Peter that he loved him and that he forgives him, just like Jesus forgives you and I for all of the things that we do that aren't what he wants us to do. I actually have a really cool experiment that I want you to try at home to kind of demonstrate what Jesus' forgiveness is like. I would do it, except for there's not really a good way for me to do it and help you to see what I'm doing at the same time. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through it. I want you to go and I want you to get a dish or a plate. And I want you to pour some water on that plate. All right, parents, you'll need to help your kids with this so that they don't make a mess. But you just kind of want to fill that plate or that dish with water. And then you're going to take pepper and you're going to sprinkle the pepper all over the plate. So your plate is now filled. It has water and then it has pepper all around it. Okay? Now, if you take your finger and if you place your finger in the middle of that plate and touch like the water and the pepper that's on the water, nothing happens, right? But now I want you to take a drop of dish soap and I want you to drop that drop of dish soap right in the center of the plate. And then watch what the pepper does. What does it do? I'm not going to give it away in case you're going to wait until after this video to do this experiment, but I will say that this experiment shows you what happens to our sin when we ask for God's forgiveness. It no longer stays with us. God takes it away from us, and he never brings it up again. That's how much he loves us. And that's how much Jesus loved Peter when Peter asked for his forgiveness as well. And so go ahead and do that fun experiment. I hope that I figured those were items that we'd have sitting around our house. But you can try it and see what happens. And then take some time to thank God for his forgiveness and for his love for you. All right. I will see you all tomorrow. Have an excellent rest of your day.